David Nelson try scored. In the second half, another try, and in fact at one stage, Sheffield Eagles led by 19 points to 0. This one was actually scored by Anthony Farrell. Featherstone Rovers seemingly beaten, but then they did stage a late rally. The try here scored by Tim Sharp. They got back to 19-12, and then we had this unsavoury incident. Now, who started it, I don't know, but punches were thrown from just about everybody, I suppose. The referee trying desperately hard to sort things out, Holsworth. And it lasted 1 minute 15 seconds, actually. Let's get it in perspective, but Nelson is off. So too was Brendan Tutor, and Sheffield Eagles go through to the next round.
The Sheffield Eagles face Kingston Rovers in Scrumdown.
Scrumdown and Stones Bitter, bringing you the best in rugby league.
After a quarter of a century, it'll all end in 80 tense minutes. In Roger Millward's final match in charge, Kingston Rovers need the points, while today's opponent Sheffield must win all their last 3 matches to have a chance of avoiding the drop with Rochdale. Kingston Rovers, after defeat in Friday's Humberside derby, could also go down unless they give their coach a winning send-off. Roger Millward's presence in the colours of Kingston Rovers in Great Britain, and later as the Robins coach, has been one of rugby league's certainties through 25 changing years. Already in the international ranks as a Castleford teenager, he went on to lead the Australians a merry dance more than once, and still holds the record for the most Great Britain points scored in a test against Australia. His international career spanned 12 years. At club level, he crowned his playing career by guiding Rovers to their one and only victory at Wembley, 10-5 over their fiercest rivals, Hull FC. He lifted that 1980 Challenge Cup as player-coach, a role he'd held for 3 years. And a succession of further trophies followed before Millward and his devoted army of fans said goodbye to the old Craven Park in their relegation season 2 years ago. And now he's saying goodbye to the club with the most successful decade in its history, testimony to his skills and his knowledge. 3 championships, 1 Challenge Cup win in 2 final appearances, 1 Regal Trophy in 3 finals, and 2 premierships. It'll be quite an act to follow.
He's been Kingston Rovers for, 25 years, hasn't he? And he's fetched me from Wigan. I've got my medals, and I wish him all the best.
Everything he's done throughout my career has helped me over 16 years since I've been here, and I'm sure his guidance has helped the club a lot.
But he's a professional, you see. He'll want to win. He'll want to leave the club on a high note and leave it, with a win under his belt. And I think all he'll be thinking about is Hull KR beating Sheffield today.
Sheffield Eagles, of course, weren't even in existence when today's opponents won most of their recent trophies. In this, their second season in Division 1, victory at Widnes showed they could live with the best on their day, and they dumped the then league leaders Hull out of the Challenge Cup. But they now need a small miracle to avoid a return to Division 2. What chance of their star name staying if they go down? Sonny Nicol is out of contract at the end of the season. Then there's Mark Aston, a point-scoring machine in the Eagles promotion season and now at Great Britain International. And the skipper, Darryl Powell, a hero of Great Britain's autumn tests against Australia. How would his international future look in Division 2?
Myself personally, playing in the Great Britain side, I need to be playing the First Division Rugby League. I don't think you get watched as much in Second Division, so for me personally it's vital.
Well, Powell today switches back to stand-off with Richard Price reverting to centre. And his fellow three-quarters Sam Panapa and Des Mear will be out to impress today in their last game before flying home to New Zealand. Sonny Nicol returns from injury for the first time since the game we covered at home to Featherstone. But in his absence, Anthony Farrell has continued to pick up the plaudits, a former Great Britain under-21 winger who's been a scourge of opponents in the pack. Rovers bring in Mike Smith at stand-off with Dave Watson reverting to centre. And Craig O'Brien plays his first game of the season because Des Harrison's on fire service duty. And astonishingly, Brian Niebling plays, even though he picked up extra injuries on Friday to add to a cracked bone in his chest and a broken finger. Later in the programme, highlights from the top 4 Good Friday matches and your chance to win a day out at the Stones Bitter Premiership finals. Time now, though, to join our commentators here at the Don Valley Stadium, David Watkins and John Hell.
Here we go at the Don Valley Stadium then. What an important game this one is for both sides, really. I think Sheffield Eagles have accepted that they're going to be playing second division rugby next season, but they want to go out with a bit of a bang. And as for Hull Kingston Rovers, David, they simply have to win this one.
Well, they have to, yes, and it's going to be pride of performance on both sides. Obviously, Sheffield, knowing they're down, will want to play well anyway to show the fans here that their future is assured. And of course, Hull KR, with Roger Millward's last game, will really want to go with a bang.
It's not often we see Hull Kingston Rovers in anything other than red shirts, but they're in blue today because of the clash, obviously, at Sheffield here. The first time that these two sides have ever met in Sheffield. They shared a 16-all draw at Craven Park earlier in the season. Amazing that they've never met before in any competition. Paul Broadbent. And the first points of the afternoon could be really crucial. It would lift either side so much. Here's Mark Aston showing it, and big Des Meyer tries to wriggle his way free from that tackle. And now Dave Nelson, they're letting him go, they're letting him run at the line. Nelson having a real tilt, but it's on the last tackle. Sheffield looking for the first points. Nicol, Aston the kick through, surely they'll cover that one. And Anthony Sullivan it is, who tries to run it out, but put a foot over that back white line, and it will be a dropout under the posts. Good lively start, David, and Sheffield really wanted to score.
Well, that's a promising start, but they are a good footballing side. They have lost by the odd point now and again, and they have proved that they are a good side. It's sad to see them going down to the second division, but I'm sure with the firepower they have as players, they'll soon be back up with the big wins.
The Eagles really need to fly again to end their season on a high note. It is mathematically possible for them to survive, of course. Here's Nick Grimaldi, but to do that, well, Wakefield or Oldham would have to lose all their games. Mike Smith, number 6 for Hull Kingston Rovers. What a great servant he's been. But let's look back at the play here. There's Sheffield Eagles, rampant at the moment. Des Meyer, oh, and held up 5 yards out is Nelson, 10 yards out maybe. It's really good stuff at the start, this from Sheffield. Aston along the line, Broadbent tries to spin around, he's a yard out. They've got through to the last tackle once more, but still the chance is here if Powell can spread it back. Aston thinks of a little kick through, it's going to be a score this time. It's a score for Sam Panapa. Sam Panapa, on his last appearance for Sheffield Eagles, gets a try in the first few minutes of the game. What a lift he's given to the team.
Well, it's obvious they've tried to play an expansive game, and Mark Aston again at the hub of most things, as he always is here, puts that deft little kick through. Panapa follows up quickly and scores.
Mark Aston looks to give Sheffield Eagles a 6-point boost. Oh dear. Not very good at all, as he knows only too well, but Sheffield have the first points of the day, and that's critical.
They've obviously decided to throw the ball about, and they do this well. Aston takes a high pass, chips it through, but his quick following up of bemused defence of LKR, very slow to it. Panapa touches down.
Could it be, David, that Sheffield now know that they're going to be doomed to the second division? They can play free-flowing rugby.
Well, I think that is the case, actually, because they've most certainly started like it. And I noticed in the programme, Gary Hetherington was saying they want to prove to everybody that rugby is worth coming to watch.
Here they come again. This is Richard Price. It could be a second score for Sheffield. 15 yards out. They've so much pace in this three-quarter line, and they are ripping Rovers apart at the moment. Here's Mark Aston. Grimaldi, he's only a few yards out. Nick Grimaldi held up 5 yards short on the last tackle. If Sheffield get a second score, which he's trying to do himself, it would have been curtains for Rovers. Handover, and my goodness, how they wanted that.
Well, really, Hull Kingston Rovers doesn't know what's hit him, because the ball has been moved right out wide all the time. It's cut through their defence, and really what they have to do now is put it all together. Just watch the way they move the ball. Really, it is refreshing to see. I mean, they move it quickly, just goes to prove that the ball can travel faster than the man. Price makes an outside break here, looking for support on the inside. Just perhaps goes that step too far and is brought down by the full-back.
I don't think there's any doubt if Sheffield do go down, as we all seem to think is going to happen, they will be a force to be reckoned with in Division 2.
Well, they will. You know, I've said it at the top of the programme that they've been really looking. They've been unlucky in some instances.
Well done by Watson then, and Sullivan goes. What an exciting wingman. Anthony Sullivan is. He's pulled up though. He looks as though he's pulled a muscle, and that's another blow for Rovers if he has. It's given Maiko the chance to run out of defence for Sheffield. Well, Anthony Sullivan out of your picture has limped off. And that could be a really bitter blow for Roger Millwood.
Well, it is really. I mean, it's his first real run, probably caught cold.
That was a forward pass to Nelson.
He was running full, flat out. He did kick over the top, and it is hard when you've just started the game. If you haven't warmed up properly, there is always a possibility of pulling a muscle, and that's exactly what he's done.
Graham Hallis is on in place of Anthony Sullivan. Chatfield, Niebling, and it's Lyman once more, smothered in the tackle this time though. Little Chatfield, the scrum half who's come from amateur ranks, well here, and Graham Hallis might well be a scorer for Rovers. He is, he's in the corner. Excellent try from Hallis. Job that Sullivan would have done, and not even Anthony Sullivan could have done it better. Hallis' second try of the Easter programme and his sixth of the season. Rovers are back in it.
What a way to come back. Now it's moved out rather quickly here, and it's a superb deliverance of a pass here. But when he does take it now, Hallis goes straight. And what's to look for here? He doesn't deviate at all. He knows he's got to get into the corner, and to do that he has to run. He does it.
He's a very promising young player, Graham Hallis. He went down on a scholarship to Australia a couple of years ago, suffered glandular fever then on his return. But he is one for the future, no doubt. Points all then. Promises to be a good game, this one.
Well, Hallis has come on to replace Sullivan, and what a better start could you have than this. Quick passing of the ball here, but what's to look for is when he does get the ball, he knows where he's going. It's that determination and the spirit that gets him in at the corner despite the tackle.
Now Des Meyer. He's actually going home to New Zealand tomorrow, but he is coming back next season. It's good news for Sheffield fans. He's become hugely popular as Mayor. And at the moment, he's actually tending to the injured Hull Kingston Rovers man, Mike Smith. Smith desperate for attention. And Mayer, who comes in field a lot. He's not a conventional wingman, that's for sure. Now Powell. Good movement, and Sonny Nicol, we've seen him do this before, we're seeing him do it yet again. He comes into the line, times the run superbly. That is typical Sonny Nicol, and that's what makes him such a highly rated prospect in rugby league. What a try, David.
Well, this is a superbly executed try, because this is where the ball is out of Michael's tackle. It really does come around. But look at that time pass. Watch this one as well, because it's perfect. It takes him on the outside. He's in the gap. The full-back has got to chase. There's not much chance of him catching Sonny Nicol on the outside. And Nicol crashes over with Hallis in attention.
And Mike Smith in need of repairs. Kingston Rovers are in need of his services though, and he has to come back on. It's an even more difficult kick for Aston than the one that followed the first try. And he can't make it. So we've had 3 tries in the game, but no goal kick successful. And Mike Smith is going off indeed on the far side of the ground. You can just see the back of him disappearing. So it looks like the end of the game for Mike Smith, and his side are trailing by 8 points to 4. Mike Smith getting a good hand. I wonder if that's the last time we'll see him in a Hull Kingston Rovers shirt. He has said he intends to leave the club at the end of the season. He's getting a great hand from the Hull Kingston Rovers fans over there. And that's a sad sight. It's well, a day that Hull Kingston Rovers are not going to forget this. The end of a Roger Millward era, and perhaps the end of the Mike Smith era too. Powell, he's made another break, and they're going to stretch them again here. It's a lovely ball, and Maiko from full-back comes on the burst, flings it back inside. They do throw this ball around really well, and it's all about defence at the moment for Hull KR. Sheffield well on top. There's a real spring in the step today. Here's Powell. It's got to be a try, surely. Panapa, he's got Nelson inside him. No, it isn't a try because Nelson knocked it backwards, although he's still here. He's trying to find an unorthodox route to the line, that's for sure. And if there is a problem with Sheffield, it is that they often create so many chances and don't always take them. Aston, dummies, slings it out wildly, and it's gone forward. Fortunately for Hull Kingston Rovers. Let's have a word from Nick on the touchline about those Hull Kingston Rovers injuries.
Well, the news about the sad departure of Mike Smith is that he has torn a muscle in his thigh, so quite clearly he'll play no further part in the game, and nor indeed will Anthony Sullivan, who has a hamstring injury.
What is Roger Millward going to do about it? He sits and he thinks and wonders, well, it's all gone wrong this season. It's a testing game, is this one? Well, it's a strange sort of a kick, but it's found touch all right. Didn't go in on the full, but that doesn't matter, does it?
It really doesn't. It wasn't what you'd say an orthodox type of kick that was. Somebody could have been back there and stopped that going in, really.
It's brought Rovers coming with Vanit. And amazingly, if they can get a score now, they'll be back level. In fact, they'd be in front if they converted it. And Watson is here. He's always dangerous, no matter where he is on the field. This is a good chance for Rovers. Chatfield. Craig O'Brien. And the big man who powers his way in is there. It's Brian Niebling. Incredible, really. Niebling shouldn't even be on this field. He's carrying so many injuries. The walking wounded has managed to squeeze over his second of the season, and Rovers are right back in it. He can't smile, it would hurt him too much.
Well, Sheffield failed to take their chances at the top end. Hull KR take theirs. Niebling takes 2-3 over with him, but crashes over for a crucial try.
Nobody's kicked a goal as yet, but Fletcher has negotiated this one, and incredibly, after defending, I would say, for 80% of this game, Hull Kingston Rovers go 10-8 in front.
Well, no frills about this. It's really onto the ball, taking it on the charge. The defence can't hold him. Niebling crashes over.
Aston. It's well timed to Powell, and this is good. Excellent play, and it's Sam Panapa once more. He pins his ear back and charges down that left side, and now they swing it right with Aston again. The timing of the pass all important here. Gets it away eventually, but yes, Broadbent just manages to fall on it, and 6 more tackles. Jerry Kershaw said it touched the Hull Kingston Rovers man, and now Vanit is down injured and can't afford to lose any more. They're already stretched to the limits of Rovers, and now it's Sonny Nicol. We've seen him over the try line once already. The closing stages of the first half, and Maiko, he only needed to stretch about another 3 feet. Wasn't quite tall enough to do that. This man might be Nicol. Ooh, so close. Has he still got the ball? I think he has. Yes. On the last tackle again. They've got to swing it right. Aston now checks, comes left. Can he get the pass away? Can they squeeze in? They can! Yes, it's another try for Sam Panapa. He's turning his leaving party into a birthday for himself. Try number 13, but I don't think he's going to be unlucky for Sheffield.
I thought he took the wrong option here because I thought he could have moved it out to Farrell, but Mark Aston decided he could see better than I could, and he went on the short side. Panapa had to break out of 2 tackles. Poor tackling, it must be said, but strong, forceful running by Panapa.
It's a long distance kick down at the left of your frame. Mark Aston comes and kicks, and it's wide. And more trouble for Hull Kingston Rovers. Vanity's going off. They are reduced for the moment, certainly, to 12 men. 12 points to 10. And Paul Bannett disappears down the tunnel. And can things get any worse for Hull Kingston Rovers? Roger Millward cannot believe what he's seeing. Aston for Sheffield. No point in kicking for the moment, he doesn't need to do. He's got it away for Richard Price. Support from Grimaldi. And Sonny Nicol again. And Nicol gets the pass away too. Still chances here as Andy Young switches it back inside. Broadbent finds Darryl Powell there. The long ball out. Nelson scores! Wonderful flowing rugby from Sheffield Eagles. They kept it going and the ball went through about 7 pairs of hands to get Nelson over. And it's another one in the eye for Hull Kingston Rovers.
Well, this is it. They say rugby league's all about passing, taking and giving of a pass. Sonny Nicol here drops it, but look, there's Andy Young coming back out into the picture with the ball now coming through with it. He slips it back inside again, and it really is magnificent stuff, this, because it's moved again. Darryl Powell, superbly flighted pass, and Nelson takes it on the wing and crashes over in the corner for a memorable try.
Aston hasn't converted any of them as yet. This is his 4th attempt, and it's closer, but it's not close enough. So, as we approach half-time, it's now Sheffield Eagles 16, Hull Kingston Rovers 10. What a match it is.
Well, this is classic running because everybody is backing the man up with the ball. Every pass is flighted properly. It really is put back inside here. Darryl Powell flights it over. Nelson takes it above him. In front of him he goes. Over in the corner. What a try.
We're moving into injury time, and really important for Rovers they don't concede another one. But they've got the ball. They should be all right. Half-time it is here, and Roger Millward points the way to the dressing room. 3 of his players have gone there already in the first 40 minutes. And this is the last half-time pep talk he'll have to give to his side. And what on earth can he say to a team that has tried so hard but finds itself in arrears by 16 points to 10? Sam Panapa's got 2 tries. Sonny Nicol and Dave Nelson have got 1 each for Sheffield. Graham Hallis and Brian Niebling have been on score sheet for Hull Kingston Rovers with a goal from Mike Fletcher. Sheffield Eagles 16, Hull Kingston Rovers 10. Join us for the second half after the... Welcome back to the Don Valley Stadium. Well, we're all looking forward to the second half here. It's Sheffield Eagles 16, Hull Kingston Rovers 10. And up in his eyrie, in a very unusual position for a coach perhaps, is Sheffield's coach Gary Hetherington. That's his vantage point, and he at the moment is talking to Nick.
Gary, I would have thought you've enjoyed the first half for the most part, but you might have been further ahead.
Yes, certainly played some very good rugby, controlled the ball quite well, and we've let 10 points in, so that's the reason that we're not further in front.
There's been a very strong wind out there. Are you looking to exploit that in the second half?
Yes, very much so. We've played against it in the first half, so we'll be looking to use it to our own advantage in the second. We should be able to get a lot better field position, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to control the second half.
Gary, thanks very much indeed. The second half underway. Here's John.
The statistics of the first half then, the scrums just edged by Sheffield, 6-5. There were not 1 against the head. The penalties conceded, only 3 in the half, 2 by Sheffield. And the errors in play, 5-4, Sheffield made most. And I notice at the start of the second half that Sheffield Eagles have brought on Hugh Waddell. He'll be glad to be out there instead of on the bench, I know that. And there is Hughie Waddell, former Leeds man, of course. Blackpool Borough going back even further. The news, by the way, is that it's not a broken arm, as was at first feared for Paul Vanett, but it is a dislocation.
Well, it's interesting to note already in the second half that Sheffield are moving up altogether in defence, and when they did kick that long ball downfield, there was 8 or 9 people following it up to make sure they pinned Hull KR down in their half.
They're looking forward to add to their 4-try tally. And here is full-back Maiko. He's very swift. His opposite number, Fletcher, just tapped his ankle. Nicol lost his footing then. Aston. Cook, who's a good forager at hooker. A couple more tackles. And they get Powell coming into a gap, and Richard Price too, and a searing run from Price. He goes towards the line, gets it away for Sonny Nicol. He's halted a yard out. They always look capable of scoring tries. Niebling is the latest Rovers man to have gone down, and this is where they might stretch them again. Daryl Powell, they won't stop him. He is in. Eagles' 5th try of the afternoon, and Daryl Powell makes his mark again.
Well, there was plenty of determination in the second half, and this is really what they have to do, is to put the final nails in the coffin. But Daryl Powell turns back inside here. The defence can do very little about it. He veers away from them and touches down for a good try.
He certainly would be a great loss to Sheffield Eagles if they did lose him as a result of going down. That's by no means certain, though. It's been pointed out there are very few clubs in the league who could afford to pay the sort of price that Sheffield would ask for Daryl Powell, or indeed this man, Mark Aston. Still attempting his first conversion of the afternoon. And this one is true. And Sheffield move on to 22 points against Hull Kingston Rovers 10.
Well, it's a quick play of the ball here, and Powell finds that he has a lot of space when he receives the ball. He comes back inside the cover going out. He goes back outside the cover and touches down.
That is a point, David, that so few clubs in the Rugby League do have money to spend these days, that there must be a chance that Sheffield can hold on to their star players. The most problematical one might well be Sonny Nicol, and stopping because Panava has made an excellent run inside and out. Like a corkscrew, he twisted around the defence there. Let's just see what this develops before I ask David to answer that question. As Broadbent comes into it once more. Could play the ball to Hugh Waddell. And Waddell charges into the 25. He's still a strong foraging forward, is Hugh Waddell, and lucky not to have a regular place in the starting lineup here. Here's Powell, and they really are looking to down Rovers now. Another try, and I think Millward's men would be beaten on the day. It's Sonny Nicol going towards the line. Nicol, are they going to hold him? Just. Only just. More of him in a moment. We'll see what happens once they let him up. It's Farrell, and Anthony Farrell can't beaver his way through. Now it is the last tackle. Is there going to be a 6th Sheffield try, or is Powell going for the drop goal? He tries an arcing run instead. Aston times it well. Des Meyer, can they hold him? He's got it back for Andy Young's score. Andy Young gets Sheffield's 6th try, and Hull Kingston Rovers look doomed to failure on this day. Are they going to be doomed to relegation as well?
Well, they've got to move it out. It's a 12-man, and look how they've all bunched the defence up here. So Daryl Powell realises that, draws yet another man in, and another is drawn, and really the defence have little chance to get across there. Andy Young picks it up and just plonks it down over the line.
It's got an easy kick for Mark Aston. And he can't negotiate it either. But Sheffield are very happy after the start they've made to the second half. 26-10, they're really capitalising in a way they didn't quite in the early stages of the first half.
Well, they've drawn the defence in a number of times here, and Daryl Powell now sees it and really goes out on an arc, because that means that he brings in what little defence that is left. Really, Meyer takes it in here, just flips it back, and Young picks it up and puts it over the line.
Fletcher kicks through and he'll try and gather himself, but it's Nicol who turns on it and comes away again. Sonny Nicol almost ran into his own man, Mayer. Powell wants to exploit those Hull Kingston Rovers ranks once more. They were all in a line then, a little kick over the top might have caught them. So it's Woodell again. 6 more tackles because it touched a Rovers hand, and Mick Cook is here now. He'll get to the 25. And the chances are definitely here for Sheffield to extend their lead. The ball is timed for Des Meyer. He gets it away for Panapa. Powell, it's going to be a score for Paul Broadbent, and it's rampant Sheffield Eagles for the moment. Paul Broadbent gets the reward.
Well, they are down to 12 men, but this really is enterprising stuff by the Eagles. They really are moving it about well. The backing up is superb here. There's always a man in support, and that's most important. Powell again there. Broadbent takes it over, and he touches down for a great try.
Poor old Mark Aston is having a tough day with his boots. And he's got this one, though. That's a lovely kick from Aston. He'll feel a lot happier about life now. Sheffield go on to 32 points to 10. And Goulding. This is where a team's players stand up to be counted when you're on the end of a hiding.
It really does. I mean, nobody's shirking anything as yet, and they are trying to use the ball. And this fella has been quite prominent as Chatfield, but he puts that kick through, but it's well covered by Michael.
Yes, he's done well, Chatfield. Farrell's turn to bring Sheffield forward. Things have certainly happened since Hugh Waddell came on, as he'll only too happily point out.
That's what Sheffield have got to do now. They've got to play it wisely and don't just throw it about for the sake of throwing it about. They must drive in as they are doing and then move it out, which they are now doing. And as a result of it, it's trying to split up this 12-man defence.
Well, Powell lost it on that occasion. Ooh, and Mick Cook's got to it again, and he's allowed to carry on, and that really is disappointing from a Rovers point of view. Desperately disappointing. It gives Sonny Nicol another tilt. If he'd have pressed that one wide, I think they were in again. But they've still got 4 tackles from inside the Rovers 25. Aston decides to bring it left this time. Knocked down only as far as Price. This is Cook, the man who started it all. Another 6. And the Rovers are in desperate trouble now as Broadbent can't smother it away. Well, he smothered it and couldn't get it away. Aston, Meyer! Des Meyer just needs to touch it down. He's in for another one. It's rip-roaring stuff, and he goes home as well with Sam Panapa tomorrow. He's certainly made his mark.
Well, Meyer's made a number of runs, and this one no more timelier than this one. He really crashes over, takes 2 with him, and just shows how easy it now can be done.
Well, Meyer on a real try-scoring sequence at the moment. He's picked up 4 in the last 3 matches. Two more points from the boot of Mark Aston. And Sheffield in an unassailable position now, have really got their fans roaring at 38-10. Down on the touchline, it's a great time to introduce a young player, and this is Simon Rhodes, only 18, from Bransholme. The young half-back who's captain England at junior level, and he will come on for Paul Broadbent. But Roger Millward can only sit and reflect on the great times there have been. I'm afraid today isn't one of them for him. It's not what he would have wanted as his swan song.
Well, it's sad, really. I mean, he's when you have injuries as he's had this afternoon, that doesn't give you much of a start. And when you have a side in rampant form like Sheffield are, it makes your task even harder. But he's been a marvellous servant, and for that you can never take it away from him.
They'll take the ball in now with Watson. Now he's got the ability to run through the lot of them. Not on this occasion. So this is Paul Fletcher. Oh, and he got it away, but anyway, it's been picked up by Hady. Evidently, a couple of youngsters they will be relying on the future. 6 tackles for Rovers now. Starting with Watson onto O'Brien. Now Chatfield and Niebling. The longer ball is to the centre, Paul Fletcher. In fact, it was John Lydiot over there. This is Niebling. Timing it pass to Watson. He's held up 8 yards out. Couple of tackles to go. They really need several tries, not just one. And Chatfield's going to get one here. Oh, he isn't, but Hady is. A well-deserved try, well worked, and Gary Chatfield at the hub of it. That's good to see. 2 of the youngsters who will figure in the future of Hull Kingston Rovers, conjuring up Hady's 3rd of the season.
Well, they've kept at it all the time, and none more so than Chatfield at half-back. He does the run around here, and it really is intuitive play here that really makes the gap for Hady to take it on the outside, catch the defence for once, and goes in for the try.
Fletcher, that's a good attempt. It's a great attempt, and it goes spinning through between the sticks. Excellent kick from Fletcher. Well, plenty of points in this match. 54 in all, 38 to the home side, 16 to Hull KR. Now Niebling, and the longer one out to Fletcher. It's a dodgy one, but Lyman managed to take it. He's done superbly well there as Paul Lyman. Good change of direction as well. Excellent play by Paul Lyman, but it's gone into the hands of all people, Mayer, the man who can really go from this sort of distance. And does he go? Des Mayer still belting his way down. Oh, it's a wonderful score. Panappa's hat-trick. But the 2 Kiwis together, Mayer was absolutely sensational there in his strength and his timing of the pass for Panappa's 3rd try.
It really is. I mean, this is superb running by Des Mayer. I mean, he's now caught in the tackle. Niebling has him. They're coming across, they're hanging on to him, but he pulls free of it all. But really now he stretches for the line. He can't hold it off anymore, but he puts it inside. Sam Panappa, as always, there behind him, catches the ball and really sails across for a try.
Aston's kick is successful, and meanwhile at 44-16, with the game already won and lost, Sheffield have taken off Des Mayer to a rapturous reception, and so Grimaud becomes back on. He does deserve a rest, and David, we're going to hear a lot about this young man.
Oh, he really is, yes. I mean, he's a marvellous player. He's really done well, and it says much for the game that there are these players about still that can excite the fans.
Waddell's turn to scatter them. Aston, Sonny Nicol.
There really has been some good performances this afternoon, none more so than Richard Price. He really has run well at all times, and he'll be glad, hopefully, to settle down here, I would think, after coming here from Hull.
Yes, and he deserves a try this afternoon. It's Maiko, though, who's got to Andy Young up here now. He's held, and for about the first time in the afternoon, we've actually got a handover. Paul Lyman leading them out, and he's had a couple of good bursts in the second half. Price, and we were just saying he deserves a try. Instead he's got it away for Hugh Waddell. And they're like vultures gathering for another score now, and Nicol tries to take advantage of some sloppy work in defence. He's in. And really, whole Kingston Rovers there didn't look interested as Sonny Nicol went in. There was no way he was going to be stopped. Nobody simply wanted to get in the way.
I think it's all gone from them now, because Nicol picks it up and dummies, half dummies, but his feeble tackling now, it's all a lost cause as far as they're concerned, and Nicol crashes over despite two men.
So the Rovers team stand dispirited as Mark Aston brings up the half-century. Not often we see a side get 50 points on scrum down, but that's the target that Sheffield have achieved. The Rovers might be relieved to see that Sonny Nicol has gone off. On the other hand, Paul Broadbent has come back on, and smiles all round up on the Sheffield bench. Maiko, well, once more they stretch him. He's got some terrific pace as Maiko. He'll soon be swapping his rugby gear for cricket. He's a top-class cricketer, is David Maiko. But for the moment we concentrate on rugby league football. No greater rugby league exponent than Hugh Waddell. Anthony Farrell now, he goes for the line, he might make it as well. No, he's held up 2 yards out. Desperate stuff for Rovers, it really is. And Mick Cook tries to tunnel his way in. 1 yard out. And is that, well, no, Jerry Kershaw says that he didn't make it, obviously, and we've got a scrum.
It shows the determination in the whole Kingston Rovers defence. They weren't going to let him in no matter what, and that was some good tackling there.
Oh, healed for Sheffield. We've got a bank on them now. Grimaldi. He's there, I think. Nick Grimaldi scores. Yet another Sheffield player to cross the line today. Well, they're all getting in on the act now. His first of this season then for Nick Grimaldi. First since last February.
Well, they took this scrum, he runs across now, the defence is going with him laterally, they can't hold him back, nobody noticeably have gone low, a result of which he's just dragged them over with him.
We've been thinking in terms of records, but the highest Sheffield Eagles score ever was 80 points against Wigan St Patrick's in a cup tie. Don't think they'll get that high. But this kick from Aston is good enough to take them on to 56 points. Absolute rout. It's hard to feel anything but sympathy for Roger Millward. He looks crestfallen, and he's a right to do. He can't wait for that final hooter. Chatfield to Lyman. Paul Lyman, as we know, is excellent near the line. And it would be some consolation if they could just get one more. Chatfield, he deserves one, really. Can't get one for the moment. Watson, the longer pass here is taken by Mike Fletcher, reversed for Brian Niebling. He has got one today. Well, he looks like a wild bull elephant sometimes. It took 3 of them to herd him out.
Well, there's been no lacking in effort, and this in the final few minutes when they really are forcing everything against Sheffield Eagles says much for it when they have a deficit like they are facing.
Sheffield's ball, and he might come all the way down the field from here. Mike Nelson, he's still going to get, oh, he's still going. Well, amazingly, he got to the halfway line just about. And while Rovers are regrouping, Sheffield might just come and steal another one. Rhodes puts it down, though.
Well, this is it again. Nelson comes into the line. He reminds me so much of Henderson Gill and Ford at Leeds. He really does bob up everywhere. He stops and starts and props, and really the defence have a torrid time trying to hold him down.
Picked up by Waddell for Sheffield. And he's got it away as well. Now it's Broadbent and they come down the right-hand side with Sam Panapa. He's looking for his own fourth try, gets it back inside. And Mick Cook rounds off one of the most memorable days in Sheffield Eagles history. They go on to 60 points. It's a record league win for them.
The ball comes down the field. It's Waddle's brought down in the tackle, but still has time to get up and move it away. And really, it's a moving out along the line. And Panapa again takes the ball and really makes an effort himself to get for the line. But the defence comes in for him, but he's good enough, quick enough and agile enough to push it back inside for Cook to take the pass and touch it down.
The tries have been shared between 8 players. And Mark Aston looks to kick his 7th goal of the afternoon. He hoists it high, and he hoists it good as well. And it really does round off the day for Sheffield Eagles. They may well be bound for the 2nd division, but they've absolutely rocked Hull Kingston Rovers. And for Roger Millward, the curtain comes down after 25 years, and it's the saddest day I can imagine. Even in his worst dreams, nightmares I should say, he could never have anticipated such a drubbing. 62 points to 16. Roger Millward does not deserve that. I hope he gets a standing ovation from the Hull Kingston Rovers fans as he goes into the dressing room for the last time. But Roger Millward signed off a miserable story. There were 3 tries for Panapa, 2 for Nicol, and 1 each for Nelson, Powell, Young, Broadbent, Mayer, Grimaldi and Cook. 12 tries in all, plus 7 goals from Mark Aston. Rovers' only response, tries from Hallis, Niebling and Hady, and 2 goals from Mike Fletcher. Well, the Stones Bitter Man of the Match received £250 and a trophy and is nominated by David Watkins.
Well, we've seen him today as a strong direct runner whose positional play and timing enabled him to be in the right place at the right time. His 3 tries is testimony to that. Sam Panapa. Congratulations, Sam. Tremendous performance this afternoon and a nice way to bow out.
Yes, I could never say what a great bunch of fellas that I've played with all season. They've been a good help to my 2nd time here professionally. But I'd like to thank the management for having us here, Des Beers, myself, and the opportunity to play with internationals like Darryl Powell and Mark Aston. I'm sure there's a future Great Britain players up and coming. I think next season when they do come up, they'll be even a greater threat to 1st Division. And also I'd like to thank the sponsors for their contribution to the club, and thanks very much.
Well, will you be coming back to New Zealand now, but are you coming back next year?
I'm hoping to come back, and I'll just leave it at that and see how things work out for me.
Well, congratulations and well done.
Gary, a memorable day, but what of the future for Sheffield Eagles, if indeed you do go down to the 2nd division?
Well, nothing changes. Our philosophy is quite simple in that we continue to look forward to go forward. We've gone forward for each of the last 7 years. This season, despite getting relegated, we have made a lot of progress, and it's very disappointing to be going back into the 2nd division because we're stronger now than we've ever been. We're very confident about competing at this level, but the 1st division's certainly been stronger than at any other time this season. We've not won enough matches, so we've no complaints, but yes, the future remains very rosy. The club's strong, the team is strong, and the future looks good.
The big question must be, can you hold on to people like Powell and Aston and Nicol?
Of course, yes. We've not got any players wanting to leave the club, and I think all the players can see that provided they stay together, that the club is very ambitious and the future looks very good.
So you're expecting them all to be Sheffield Eagles again next year?
Oh yes, I've no hesitation about stating that, and if you ask the players themselves, everybody's wanting, they're committed to Sheffield Eagles, they're committed to each other and committed to bringing more success in the future.
Against the head. An amazingly low penalty count reveals that Rovers' softly approach led to them conceding only 1 penalty in 80 minutes. Normally a praiseworthy fact. Today it summed up a less than
4-4 at Wigan a week ago, but St John Ellis wins